This week on HMP, we're taking cues from Spaceballs with our new HMP merchandising. That's right, boys and girls. We got HMP the t-shirt. We got HMP the hat. We got HMP the fanny pack. We got HMP the tote bag. These are all real, by the way. We got HMP the socks. We got HMP the throw pill. Maybe you don't even want no HMP. How about a zombie Bruce coffee mug? How about a sweet Shawnzy loves spaceships tapestry? How about that noise? Or the brand new Summertime Bruce t-shirt. I drew that years ago.
I think you're guaranteeing, you know how to guarantee you sell at least a couple bits of merch. You
What
know
can
who
I
you're
say?
marketing to, don't you?
Amen, I do. Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Welcome back, you dirty babies. It's time for another Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Portress, and joining me today, he doesn't want you breathing his precious air. Sweet Shawnzy Kovacs from the internet.
I sound different.
And he longs for the career of Dick Van Patten, Bruce Leslie.
I can't wait till they make a parody of Spaceballs.
Just get a good one in there for once, why don't you? Well, welcome back to every HMP, everybody. We are chugging right along with our Thanksgiving Candy, a series of films from the late, great John Candy. And this week, we're talking Spaceballs from 1987. Huge movie this one was. I remember just constantly seeing this one on rotation everywhere as a kid.
It was one that definitely was popular with the kids that I hung out with. And it was one that I think just really must have been affordable for someone to put on TV or something, because I felt like we saw this a lot too. And it was kind of crazy, but I often wonder if the difficulty with getting television rights to any actual Star Wars material is why this was like so popular on broadcast TV.
That's an interesting theory. I like that.
It is. It's a good theory, man.
We'll get into all that sort of stuff. And Sean, I don't know if you heard last week's show, Bruce, but or you were here. I forget what weeks you were here.
I wasn't here last week.
Were you not here?
Wasn't here last week.
Because he's here and then not here, and I don't remember much. But Sean has a different experience of this movie, and we're going to get into that because I think that's going to be a little bit interesting here. But before we do all of that, before we jump into the review, we do want to remind people that this show is live streamed over on YouTube. So every Sunday evening at 8 p.m., jump over there to the YouTube and check us out in the live stream, and you can be in the chat. And we're now streaming both in vertical and horizontal. For those of you that are just like, oh, I'm sick and tired of all the just horizontal stuff, now you can do it in the vertical. We're live on Facebook on YouTube in two fashions, so that's how fancy we're getting over there. So just hit that like and subscribe there, and if you really love things,
Portress Bucks.
throw some Portress Bucks the way, aka the super chats there and everything. We'd love to hear from you there. And if you can't do that, just hit the like and subscribe button and all that kind of good stuff. That really helps this thing go out to other people. We really appreciate all of y'all. And I'm serious with that merch. All of that merch is real. I've designed that. That's up at our TeePublic page. You know what's funny is I sold a Kingpin Has a Posse t-shirt like a month ago. Like out of nowhere, like there's zero activity on the TeePublic page, and then all of a sudden somebody bought like a Wilson Fisk shirt, and I was just like, well, damn. Why don't I start making some more merch here again? So we've updated the merch store and everything and all that kind of good stuff. So go check out Half-Ass Movie Podcast over there on TeePublic. I'll put a link in the show notes and all that kind of good stuff. But new stuff, new merch.
I think you might sell 5 of those summertime Bruce Leslies, because my family does like to match in our Christmas.
Just, beautiful, beautiful. And if you really, really enjoy this show and you want to just contribute directly, go to patreon.com/HMP. There you get the pre-show, post-show Dinger Zone. This week's Dinger Zone in honor of Spaceballs, the movie. We're going to be talking our top 5 favorite parody movies and stuff. So I'm excited for that one. I think my guess is we're probably going to be very different. I don't think a lot of things are going to line up. I could be wrong.
Oh, really?
No, all right. Well, we shall see. But check. So here's the best part. Stay to the end of this here live stream if you were on the live stream to get that dinger zone and everything. After that, that's going away, and it's only available at patreon.com/HMP. So join up at any level. Whatever this show means to you, if it disappeared on Monday morning and never came back again, what would you do to replace that here program? Just put that in a dollar form, send it our way. Or again, just hit the like and subscribe button. That costs you $0. All it does is takes that. That's real super simple. So we really appreciate to all the fine folks. Patreon.com/HMP. All right, boys and girls, we got to get into it. This week we are talking Spaceballs from 1987. Here is the IMDb plotline. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. A star pilot for hire and his trusty sidekick must come to the rescue of a princess to save planet Duridia from the clutches of the evil Spaceballs. I tell you what, 9 out of 10 IMDb. That's pretty damn good. Wow. This is written by Mel Brooks, Thomas Meehan, and Ronnie Graham. Directed by Mel Brooks, who you know from probably a couple of films here and there.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood Men in Tights to be most specific, though.
Yeah, that's most people, right?
They
most
go
people
straight.
would bring that up.
Actually, they're
not the true classics.
Like, oh, you're right. Dracula
Robin
Dead
Hood
and Loving
Men
It.
in Tights. Dracula Dead and Loving It. Spaceballs 2.
The quest for more money, which we're definitely doing. This is starring Bill Pullman, Rick Moranis, John Candy, Daphne Zuniga, Joan Rivers, Dick Van Patten, Mel Brooks, and with only 2 minutes of screen time, which is all you need if you make silly voices with your mouth, Police Academy's own and likely appearing at a strip mall comedy club near you, Michael Winslow.
Who's like 5th build in the movie.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
5th build. He gets a full ass credit at the end where it's just his face, and you're like, wow. It's again making voices will get you straight to the top. Apparently,
Times
Sean,
have changed. Yeah,
do you recall how a couple of weeks ago we decided prop comedy is just like prime for a comeback?
true. Yeah,
What about the Winslow shtick? Like, are we just ready for the next kid who can make weird noises with his mouth to come along and blow our minds?
I think the problem is that it's such a deep crevasse that you have to be the best at it, and you can't just do a couple of like different ones. You have to do a lot. You have to be at a Michael Winslow level in order for it to work. And I don't know if anyone's willing to put in the time. No one's as weird as Michael Winslow with the drive that man has.
yeah, exactly. It's like
he's got a ton of drive.
As much as we all chide him and stuff like that, and you can become kind of a joke and whatnot, he is really, really good at what he does. And there's no one else that does it quite as well as he does in that department and stuff like that. And I think you're right, Sean. I don't think your average person these days is going to put that much effort into silly noises.
I think that I put him in the same box as like the Micro Machines guy.
Oh,
You know, that he was able to talk really fast. Like that guy and Michael Winslow are in the same camp to me because
I'm gonna
it's so specified.
I'm going to make a bold prediction that whenever the next Michael Winslow comes along, he'll be discovered on like America's Got Talent or some kind of reality show, because this won't be somebody that comes ground up through social media, because you'll just assume that all the sounds are fake and edited and that kind of thing. So he'll have to come up through something like that. Yeah. So I'm going to be buying stock in the next sound effect act that I see on America's Got Talent, because the world is waiting.
You know, when you look at something like, we are going down a rabbit hole, and by we, I mean me. But like, you know, the thing that made Bobby McFerrin so famous was "Don't Worry, Be Happy." But 90% of why that made him so famous is because he very famously is doing all of that, all of the noises that are in that song. The difference between Bobby McFerrin and the other 2 gentlemen that I mentioned earlier is that Bobby McFerrin is also just an amazing, incredible musician. And so, you know, he has that to fall back on. He doesn't just have to like, you know, like, hey, it kind of sounds like a drum when I hit my chest like this.
He's a lot underrated, that guy. And when you really just sit there and listen, you're like, oh, in order to put that song together that well and have it work as amazingly as it does when it's just a dude and his voice making the singing and all of the music involved and stuff as well, you're like, damn, that's actually more impressive than one might think.
You should see him if you get a chance to see him live, because he's also a really great performer. And I don't mean just like musically, like he puts on a show, and it's smart and it's inventive and it's clever. I saw this one bit on YouTube where he played the audience, where like it was almost like in front of him was the keyboard from Big, and he would step on a board and go like, and then he'd tell the audience to do it, and then the audience would do it, and then he would go one board up, and he'd go, and everyone, and then he went a board further, and the audience just hit the pitch, and it was like, oh, holy cow! And so then he starts playing the audience like it's a musical instrument. In order for your brain to work like that, like you have to know instinctively certain things about like just the human psyche of the human condition.
Yeah.
And he's got that, plus he's an amazing musician. I mean, come on.
I'm always impressed with folks like that. It's just so awe-inspiring.
Speaking of triple threats and everything, that Mel Brooks not only writes, he directs, he stars in it in several roles throughout many of his films. And I've always liked that, where he just goes, I need another role to fill. How about me? It's a very Bruce Leslie move in a lot of ways when you're thinking about it. It's just like, I need someone to fill it. You know what? I had to put on a hat.
I can see a few similarities in our personalities, maybe not in our output, but in our input, yes.
There's also, I love that the and I didn't really pick up on this until I watched this last night, is that the ultimate force of evil in the universe is Mel Brooks in Spaceballs. Also, the ultimate force of good in Spaceballs is Mel Brooks. Both things.
When you get the dual side of the coin there and everything.
Do you think that they're going to put Mel Brooks in the makeup for Yogurt for the sequel, or do you think that's just going to be, like CGI'd?
No, I thought you were going to say, or is it just going to be his regular old face now because he's like 90? Listen, if indeed it actually goes off without hitch, they haven't shot anything, have they? I don't know. I have that. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gosh.
They've shot a bunch.
Oof. Let's say it does. I feel like he's got to be in there as Yogurt at some point. Maybe not the president or something of Spaceballs, but he definitely has to be Yogurt, I would think. Unless they want to go full CGI, which would be the best thing ever. Just do it.
That's
CGI
probably what they're going to do, though, don't you think? I would imagine that's probably the way you do it at this point. It's unfair to ask a 95-year-old man to get into that makeup.
Stand on your knees for 25 hours today.
It's also just so much cheaper now to do things digitally.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? You're going to not watch it and just enjoy this movie. That's what I say.
I mean, people are giving Mel Brooks Avatar money here. This isn't James Cameron. Oh, there's the thought. James Cameron remakes Spaceballs.
We just give him all the special effects budget. Let's talk about that for a second, because I mean, obviously, so this thing comes out in the wake of Star Wars and everything. Everybody loves Star Wars, and Mel Brooks himself in some of the fun, cheap special features that were on the Blu-ray there and everything. He was just kind of going like, hey, listen, I'm going through my stuff. What have I kind of, parodied and made fun of and everything? He's like, all right, I got this, the silent movie. I got the horror movie. I've got the Western. He's like, what haven't I done yet? Oh, space. I haven't gone to space yet here and everything. And of course, Star Wars is, just absolutely killing it at this point. So they're like, we need to do that. And I can't blame them. And I got to say, as far as all of that goes, I think they've done the best kind of parody of Star Wars of anybody out there. I don't know that anyone else has done anything that's nearly close as good as parodying Star Wars as this.
Sean, what's your call on Hardware Wars versus Spaceballs?
I love Hardware Wars. I love Hardware Wars. I think that's the way to go if you're going to parody Star Wars. Only because it feels so alien and foreign. Like, it's a student film. Clearly, it's a student film. And it's just one of those things like, man, I'm going to sound like the oldest person in the world. Do you remember bloopers and practical jokes?
Yeah.
Do I remember?
This feels like something that would have been on there. Hardware Wars does.
Yes, it does.
And there's a very, there's a very, like, you can feel the grit when you're watching that. And there's like legitimate legitimately funny laugh out loud moments in Hardware Wars, like when the guy who's playing Luke Skywalker keeps going, wow, like he just keeps doing that over and over again. It's so funny to me.
I prefer Hardware Wars to Spaceballs, but I like
me
both.
Too. No, I prefer Hardware Wars. Spaceballs is fine. But I prefer Hardware Wars because Hardware Wars like actually made me laugh. I Spaceballs never really made me laugh. Like even as a kid, it did, but for totally different reasons. Didn't make me laugh.
It's I mean, Hardware Wars is also like a best case scenario for can-do movie making. So that's
right, and
nice
I know you love that. Yeah. You know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, one of the things that, you definitely had with this one that you don't see in a lot of other, kind of parody movies, and Bruce kind of said there, it's like a lot of money's being spent with this thing. When you see what's on screen and stuff and realize that, like, they were shooting in the same set as they on at MGM that they were doing The Wizard of Oz in. So they're just like, this is a crazy ass experience going in here, and just like this is the soundstage Wizard of Oz was on, and they've got these giant expansive things, and Bill Pullman's like, this is amazing, but it's all going to just disappear. It's like it was only made for this tiny little thing that we were doing, walking in here, and it's just this grand giant thing that you could never imagine anybody taking that much money and time these days doing just to toss it as fast as they do. Because you look at it sometimes and you're like, is this a matte painting? And the more you look at it, you're like, no, it's really not. They built crazy. This asset, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think something else, in addition to the infusion of money that went into this one, which you have to think because Mel Brooks was attached, but I also think that they found some secret sauce here that would fuel far inferior ripoff movies for years and years to come. But that was, rather than making a parody of one movie, one story, we're going to just take on the whole genre. Because yes, Star Wars is the framing story, but they've got their Planet of the Apes moment, their Aliens moment, and that is the actual kind of blueprint that Scary Movie, I think, followed when they did their thing and all epic movie, superhero movie. They are not in the same vein as Airplane or Naked Gun. They're in the same vein as Spaceballs.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
I had not seen Spaceballs in so long that when I watched it this time, I realized for the first time that the alien that's coming out of the guy at the end of Spaceballs is the guy.
Is John Hurt?
Yeah, it's actually Hurt. Like I was like, oh man, I because I hadn't seen it since I was a kid.
That's what makes the gag great.
Yeah, it makes it amazing. It makes it amazing because it goes from good, because it could have been just anybody, but the fact that they actually got John Hurt and made everybody kind of look like the aliens crew more or less. And the great, like, not again. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. And once the alien bursts out of his chest and he says, oh, no, not again. For most people, that's your joke. But they work so hard on this puppet. And I'm like, this puppet is way better than any of the puppets from Puppet Master. And it's for this joke at the end of the movie where the punchline's already been delivered and they've still got this awesome puppet. And there's something about like that dedication to the craft. It makes me really like Mel Brooks, and we'll probably get to talk a little bit more about Mel Brooks as we discuss this movie. But it's like I've got a little bit of a love-hate with Mel Brooks. Don't really like his sense of humor, but I love the way he makes movies. So I always have to, wrestle with that.
Whereas me, I am the old man of the group. But despite being the youngest, I am the oldest here in a stupid sense of humor kind of way, for sure. Because I watched I was shocked at how many laughs I had in this thing. And I like dumb stuff. There's some dumb ass humor in this, but for whatever reason, it struck my stupid face. And I'm just like, that's funny. Just dumb little things here and there that I hadn't quite noticed before and stuff like that. But it's really, really great. And again, it looks so good. That was one thing that I couldn't believe. Not to mention, this is one that I'm watching it. And I'm kind of like you, Sean. I hadn't seen it in a very long time. And I'm looking at Bill Pullman and John Candy flying around in the Winnebago there and everything. And at first I'm just going, listen, we know John Candy's had a little bit of a history. That guy likes to, tie one on every now and then and stuff. And we don't know from Bill Pullman at this point. But you're looking at him, I was just like, is Bill Pullman high? Are they drunk or something? What's going on here? And as you go on, you go, no, they are just having a blast. They're having such a good time with this that it is just leaping off the screen. They are just fully invested. When they're looking out of the window of the Winnebago, you would swear they were looking into space because, like, Bill Pullman is just like looking with intent. And I didn't realize this was his first movie. This was his first thing.
And because
really?
this is his first movie, in my mind, I'm like, Lone Star was just some unknown actor and the guy crushed it. And then, like, when I'm rewatching it this time, I'm like, did it really take me this long to understand why he crushed it and why, like, you don't have to stay unknown. Like, it just never occurred to me that this was Bill Pullman before. And I'm really embarrassed by that.
They saw him in a play and everything like that and kind of talked to him afterwards. And Mel was just like, hey, you want to do this? He's like, yeah, sure. Like, it was that easy. I'm dying to know what stage production could be seen and speak Lone Star to you. Like I got to know what he was in. I forget what it was. They do say what it was, but I couldn't tell you. That's one of the things.
And I can remember for the first maybe 100 times I watched this movie, I thought a whole lot like, man, if I had any kind of context for Jewish stereotypes, I bet I'd be loving this. And then once I got to college and some people explained some of it to me, then, like, come on, the first 5 years I watched this, I had no idea. I mean, I know way more about Druids at that point in my life. So I think when they say Druish, that makes sense. And I don't even realize that that's kind of a play on words to sound like Jewish intentionally.
Yeah.
Like, that was so over my head back then. So I'm getting some new context every time I watch it in later years. But I wouldn't say that makes it any better, actually. I would just say it makes it, gives you something to pay more attention to. It's easy not to.
Is Bill Pullman good looking?
I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
I think so, because I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's got like a little Aaron Eckhart in him. He's got there's like 4 or 5 different guys I kind of saw coming out of there, and I'm just like, yeah, that's a good looking dude.
I can go either way on him. That's why I'm asking. I can because you can kind of be like, how is this guy the lead of a gigantic movie? He's not, he's not a stunner. And then certain moments I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, he's good looking. And then other times I'm like, he looks like he just rolled out of bed.
When he puts on the Han Solo-ness of it all and everything, you can really kind of see it popping out, and you're just like, oh, this guy's good. He knows what he's doing when he gets in, to somebody's face and kind of, chastising them for something or other. You can just tell they're like, oh, he's really digging what he's doing here.
Do you think James J. Bullock got paid more for this movie than Bill Pullman?
No, there's no way.
Because he was too close for comfort, made him kind of a big star briefly. And Mel Brooks doesn't
Hollywood
follow
Squares. He's literally the center square on Hollywood Squares, the John Davidson Hollywood Squares, where he was a killer. He was a killer on that show, man. He was very, very funny on that show.
You would think he was still on it if you saw the special features and stuff. Nobody was patting themselves on the back a little bit more than Jim J. Bullock. He was like, he was so into this interview, you thought he was Lone Star. The way he was going after, you're just like, are you kidding me, brother? He's just like, we do this thing. And he's so over the top, and you're just like, okay, come on, buddy, dial it down a little bit.
There's part of me that thinks he might have gotten paid more because it was this weird, he was like a Pauly Shore type. He had this weird moment where he was over the roof famous, and then we look back and wonder why.
He's what, 6th, 7th build in this movie? Like, he's not in it enough to be paid as much as Bill Pullman is. There's just no way, man.
Michael Winslow got a bigger payday than
he might have.
That I would believe for sure.
That might be true.
He got some of that Police Academy money.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, by the way, I always like and everybody knows it at this point and stuff, but it's fun looking back at it. Tim Russ doing the combing the sand there and everything, how he would then go on to do Tuvok in Star Trek and everything. I was like, that's pretty cool that, he starts out in Spaceballs here and then goes all the way up to actual honest to goodness Star Trek.
It's all right.
Comb in the Desert's still one of my favorite parts.
But the best part is too is that it goes from comb, pick.
Yeah,
Again, super.
I wasn't gonna point that one out, but it is what happens.
It's funny. What are your thoughts on the joke at the beginning? Obviously, your big giant ship coming in at this long sort of thing. I feel like it comes under that great Simpsons bit where they basically say you just have to do something, make it funny, and then it's not funny, and then if it's not funny for long enough, it comes back around to funny yet again.
And the fact that it's a reproduction of a shot that the first time I saw it, I'm like breathtaking. My breath's taken away at how long this craft is. So it kind of works on a couple levels there. But I didn't really laugh that hard at the bumper sticker that says "We break for nobody."
Well, that just shows you that they're real true villains and everything, you know? Is that like, hey, you know, we don't care if it's for, you know, fat chicks or for, you know, cats crossing the road. We're plowing on through, baby.
It's a special type of evil when you're evil and proud of it.
I forgot that this movie was what came out before the PG-13 rating. Because for a PG movie, the amount of cursing and just lewd jokes and everything, you could never in a million years get away with a PG level movie of that anymore.
Adult situations is the term they used to use for those. Yeah, a lot of adult situations like the joke suck, blow, blow, blow. You know, I'm glad to know that Dick Van Patten's star was still shining enough to be a king in this movie.
He was so excited to get to wear hair.
It was perfect hair, too.
That was his big thing. It's like, normally I don't have a lot of hair, but I was like, I'm going to put this on and I'm looking great.
He might have been the happiest to get the work. Jeffrey Tambor looking just as old as ever.
Jeffrey Tambor was in this?
I thought he was.
No, you're thinking of Stephen Tobolowsky.
That's what I'm thinking of. I'm sorry. That is who I'm thinking of. I apologize.
That was another one where I was just like, oh my God, he's in this movie? That's amazing. It's a hot second, but and then a decade later, that role would go to like Michael McDonald or something like that from Mad TV, because he would definitely have that kind of role.
Yeah. Also, another person never had a good year. He's just never had a good year. Stephen Tobolowsky. There's not a time where you go like, oh, handsome, good job. Life doesn't happen, man.
Well, speaking of never having had a good year, do you think Joan Rivers got paid for the voice as if she were on camera, or do you think she took a little bit less? She seems like the kind of person where the voice is the star. Like there for a while, it was like sort of stunt casting to have her do the voice of something like one of the babies at the end of Look Who's Talking. And I think maybe they had her speak for Lisa Simpson. Not Lisa. What's the baby's name?
Maggie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maggie. There was like speculation she was going to be Maggie's first words, things like that. But boy, I can say now that enough time has passed for me to honestly say I don't get Joan Rivers.
I will say this: Joan Rivers was actually brought in to rescue that role.
I don't doubt that.
It was not initially her doing the voice and everything. There's a lady, I want to say her name's Yarnell, just off the top of my head, who was in the actual suit and everything. And they were like, this character's not quite working. It wasn't on account of the actor. That wasn't the problem that they had, but they needed more jokes, to be honest. And they got
she James Earl Jones, that David Prowse.
Exactly. She came in and was actually, Mel asked her to write stuff. So a lot of the jokes and stuff are her actual jokes. So love them or hate them, you can point the finger at Joan Rivers for those jokes.
Yeah, I 100% believe that she wrote those jokes.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think there is a magic trick that's being done with that at the time. Like now, it's just it's just so dated, but at the time it was a magic trick that, oh my God, Joan Rivers is playing the robot in Spaceballs. Like there was like a magic to it that is just lost to time. But like, oh my God, that's so funny. Joan Rivers is the robot. Like the most unhelpful thing you could possibly think of as your servant robot. Like, oh my God, that's so funny.
Still less gay than C-3PO though. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Dot Matrix. I love her name.
That's a great name.
Yeah. There's some fun stuff here. I love the reason we're talking about the movie is Barf, and John Candy is my favorite character in this. He's the moments of joy when I start to feel like, little fruit's even low hanging for Leslie. That's some low hanging fruit right there,
man.
And then, Barf comes into the scene and he just picks everything up for me. And I'm still a little like emotional after watching that I Like Me documentary. So I'm probably giving everything that John Candy does an extra unearned half star. But he's the one who's picking this up right now.
Well, there's no doubt about it that when Pullman and Candy are in the Winnebago, that it feels like they have been hanging out forever, those two.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because of John Candy. It's not Pullman.
Yeah.
Like Candy is what's causing that to happen. And I think that's kind of that's the thing that I just never saw with John Candy, is just how much of a giving performer he is, because he didn't have to do that.
Adam, I don't know if you already covered this or not. Did this have a strong opening? Did this have a good opening weekend?
That I don't know. I mean,
Because
I can
this,
look.
I would say Candy's the one who opened this, though. You know, back in 1987, I think that him and his character was probably what was featured in the trailer. And if this had a strong opening, he's who probably put those butts there before the word of mouth got out.
Opening weekend in 1980.
It's him, it's Moranis, and it's
SCTV,
Joan Rivers. And Joan Rivers. Like those are the three names that bring you to the theater.
This something I noticed for the first time with Rick Moranis' character, watching it this time through, is that his belt buckle is a Nobel Prize.
Yes.
I had never noticed that before. And then I'm like looking at that now, and that seems like just the nicest little subtle joke, because unless I'm absolutely oblivious to calling attention to it the way that they do to almost every other joke in this movie, I kind of thought that almost felt like something that maybe the costumer just threw in there. But I love the Nobel Prize for his belt buckle.
Opening gross for weekend gross for Spaceballs, $6.6 million in 1987 money.
That sounds good.
I mean, total gross and everything is 38 million. So they worldwide, or U.S. and Canada. No, it's worldwide. It says worldwide. 38 million on a $22 million budget. So that's not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Not at all. And that's just theater. I mean, you know, most people saw this on VHS.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what
I kind of wonder how much money this movie made from basic cable too, because that's where it got hammered the most, I think.
Yeah,
it would go from USA to TNT to one of the other networks, then back to USA to TNT. It was perpetually on somebody's monthly line.
They just got one of those little, things with the ping pong balls in it. Whichever name pops up, like, you get it this week. There you go.
Yeah.
I have to say that, although I'm not the biggest fan of Spaceballs, it is a very breezy watch. It didn't feel like punishment watching this, even though I didn't laugh, because you can see everything coming a mile away. But it's a very breezy watch. Like it's not long. It doesn't feel long. And it's not one of those things where you're like, come on. Like nothing happens in this movie where you're just like, come on, man.
There's not a lot of filler.
And I think that the reason why is exactly, Portress, is that I think because it clips so quickly, because they have a lot that they have to get out. And it all, I think that transforming into the spaceship into a maid is very dumb, but it also is not boring. So it makes watching Spaceballs, if you haven't watched it in a long time, a very breezy watch. And it also has the thing of, this movie was made so long ago that there's people who pop up in the movie and you're like, oh, they're in this. Oh, awesome. That's nice.
And it's also a little ahead of its time. When you're watching it, remind yourself this was 1987, because the fourth wall breaking of getting the VHS tape and watching what's going to happen. I had never experienced anything like that in a movie, that kind of meta self-awareness before.
It's a lot of fun, and they set it up really, really well. And it's just a feed that's going back into the monitor there and everything, so it's just perfectly in time. But it's kind of a brilliant little bit of joke there and everything, where we open it up, we go, and I love how we go through all of his movies. Okay, here's this one, like literally him just going like, by the way, these are all the things I've been doing. You're welcome. I do all these great movies.
I didn't recognize one of them. I didn't recognize one of those movies. I was like, oh, he must have written that, maybe. I didn't recognize one. I can't remember which one.
But it's so much fun, that little bit there and everything, and just the back forth. That was one, as a kid, I was just like, that's cool. That's a very cool idea that they kind of put together there and everything. But you're right, Rick Moranis is just, I think I appreciated him probably more than I ever have in any of the other ones and stuff. Somebody that is just absolutely giving his role. He is just like, okay, here's the assignment. I know what I'm doing. And Mel talks about how when working with Rick Moranis and everything, he was kind of a joyous pain in as much as they would do what was scripted and everything. And then Rick Moranis would go, I think we should just go like, it should be like this, this, and this. They do it. And he goes, every time it was better.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So like Mel is definitely one. It's like, all right, let's see what you got here. And then it's like everything that he came up with just made the material that much better. Just kind of the ping and the pong of him going back with his, his main guy there and everything and stuff like that. He was really kind of breaking that all down and making it as funny as it possibly could be. And he's such a gem in this movie for sure.
Yeah.
And Rick Moranis is a guy that never, ever felt to me like he was just going through the motions or just,
No.
showing up and doing what he does. I mean, the amount of effort I'm seeing him put in, like the oldest episode of SCTV or in his last film appearances, it's like he never, and when you get old, it's hard to keep that energy up. Yeah, I can tell you that. So the guy is impressive to me. And then I'm telling you, he takes his roles, even though the roles aren't serious. He feels to me like he expends as much actor mana on his performance as a person like Brando or Daniel Day-Lewis or one of those method guys. I think he just brings it all.
He stays in the helmet all day long.
Dan Lewis. The scene where he's playing with the action figures.
Oh yeah.
It just feels like something he came up with off the cuff, especially the line, which is my favorite line in the movie. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, yet I find you strangely attractive. Like, it's just such a great line, man.
I didn't catch you playing with your toys again. And then, they're stupid. But here's the thing: as much as you go like, oh, that feels like that. Those little action figures are so well designed that it's just like there's no way that was just a half-second sort of thing. But I'm sure it came from them doing a little bit of improv or something like that.
Somebody put a whole lot of time into the prop making on the show, because the Winnebago miniature that they've made, and then they have the real one. Like it's really impressive how much detail is in that Winnebago, man.
Have either of you ever ran across any like decent quality collectibles of this stuff, like one of those Winnebagos you could put on your dresser, or like action figures of Barf and Lone Star and Dot or anything like that?
No,
I wasn't aware that
I have either, but now I'm kind of. I would like to have one of those Winnebagos if it was about the size of the Barbie camper thing that she had. Something about that size would be nice, or smaller. I don't want it any bigger than that.
I think that was the whole deal, though, right? I mean, now that Lucas doesn't own Star Wars anymore, that might be off the table. But the whole deal was Lucas was like, you can do whatever you want, just please don't sell any merchandise. And so that was the whole thing with Spaceballs.
That's why we have that famous merchandising scene. Then I didn't know that behind the scenes. So who owns Spaceballs?
MGM.
Okay,
Yeah.
Who owns MGM? Amazon. Okay, so
Amazon.
We're not going to see any Disney collaboration then.
No.
They could sell them on Amazon as Ball from Space figures.
Well, I think that now that Disney owns it, like that deal's off the table probably at this point, I would imagine.
I couldn't tell you.
Did you guys know that when they did the initial designs for characters and everything else like that, Candy's character had a full dog face, like an actual just big dog snout and everything. And Brooks was just like, we're paying for John Candy. We'd like to see John Candy's face, please. And so they were like, put all that stuff together. And great with the little motorized ears and everything, where they got somebody off camera just doing all those. And they said a giant pain in the ass. They never worked properly.
Sure.
But when they do, it looks really, really good.
I think what is awesome to me is just how little makeup and prosthetics it took for John Candy to believably be a Mog.
He's got a lot of makeup on his face, believe it or not. There's a lot of lip outline and things like that. It's just like, what's happening here? But he's having so much fun, and inside of the Winnebago is also perfect because it's just disgusting. There's just trash and crap everywhere. It's so good. And my grandparents basically had that motorhome, or at least I think that was their first motorhome, was something that was very akin to that, an actual Winnebago there and everything. So like it felt like driving in the grandparents' Winnebago yet again.
How did you guys feel about the Pizza the Hut puppet?
It's great and disgusting. Like, it's disgustingly great because it is just, and I'm sitting there watching it just going, how the hell are they doing it? Because it's bubbling in all kinds of spots in the head and it's just dripping off. And I'm like, how do you keep that sustained and not, it beats the hell out of me, but it looks grossly disgusting. And then when you boys licking them, that's even worse. It's like, oh, Jesus, now we're just gross.
You have any thoughts on it, Sean?
I have a question about it. Actually, is that a Dom DeLuise sound alike?
That is Dom DeLuise. He's just not in the makeup, but it is his voice.
I see.
But it's, to me, that seems like it's from a different movie than everything else. It still jars me a little bit that it just feels a little out of place. It's a little too fluid, a little too grimy. Like, it almost feels a little closer to Hardware Wars than Spaceballs to me.
Well, I don't know. Jabba the Hutt was a pretty gross sort of guy, so I feel like this is
one thing I can say without question is I prefer Pizza the Hutt's Major Domo to that one that Jabba had.
What? You don't like Bib Fortuna?
I don't like Bib Fortuna as much as is that a Chicago accented Man of Steel? I don't know what he's supposed to be, but they put no effort into trying to keep the Bib Fortuna gag going.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Tombstone, the Spider-Man.
Oh, perfect.
Spider-Man villain. That's what I always thought of.
We did
in one,
and we did. Well, let's see. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was going on, but it was just one of those things that, like, they're past Jedi and everything, and Jabba the Hutt, Pizza the Hut. It's just like it's almost one of those, like, if you're not doing that, someone else is going to do it, so you might as well ring that bell first.
Yes, it's a layup. You need to do it.
And if you can make it gross, that's even better. But at least they didn't stretch it out or anything. But I will say this: no Salacious Crumb analog, big miss.
How do you think Yum Brands, the owner of Pizza Hut, feels about this character?
I'm sure they were like, did the check clear?
Do you think there was a check? I don't know. I don't know these things.
It's tough.
How much are you bringing this up because you know that Yum Brands owns Pizza Hut? Is that why?
No, I just want to know what Pizza Hut. I want to know, like, does Pizza Hut pay them to do this? Do they pay Pizza Hut, or does nobody get paid and nobody's sure how to feel?
Your Honor, we put the word "the" in between pizza and hut.
No reasonable consumer would ever mistake this guy for an actual product from Pizza Hut. Their products are much more disgusting.
Who had that song, I'm at the Pizza Hut, I'm at the Taco Bell, I'm at the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. Yeah. Those guys, did they get sued? Because it might be a thing where it's like, Marky Mark and the Funky Punch don't get sued for Good Vibrations, but Tribe Called Quest does because they know they're going to win that because there's not the money behind it that Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch had behind it.
Yeah, that's true. Tribe Called Quest sales here, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, fortunately, sales here.
Right. My knowledge of up and coming indie hip hop is purely what I've seen on the TV show Atlanta.
so made up hip
So
hop.
you live right in the middle of it, but they seem to suggest that sometimes up and coming people that are trying to make a name for themselves will make like some weird product and they'll make a rap about it, hoping that the product is like so forgotten about that they'll be happy about it. So like the example they used in Atlanta was Yahoo. Right, like the Yahoo chocolate drink, but the real life.
The what now? What was it called?
Yoo-hoo.
It's called Yoo-hoo.
Lordy.
Okay, I always drank the off-brand Yoo-hoo. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, but anyway, the real life analog to that was that Laffy Taffy song that we talked about a month ago.
Oh yeah,
chocolate squeezins. That's what that's called. Boy, the combination Pizza Hut Taco Bell song, by the way, is like 20 years old. It's not because I'm in Atlanta. A middle-aged white man doesn't want anything to do with underground hip hop out of Atlanta.
He's just pulling up to the club in his truck.
It's just one of those things where I think that Yum Brand Foods probably was like, well, it's in a parody movie and they are MGM. So let's just let them have this one.
That's free real estate, as they say. Daphne Zuniga. We need to talk about her real fast because we got our Princess Leia analog here and everything. I thought she did really great. She's not utterly fantastic, but she's doing a great serviceable job. She's playing bratty enough and everything, and it really works.
She's the Bill Pullman of women. She's just great.
I remember thinking of her as a pretty big star at the time this came out. So she must have recently been in something before this that was a moderate hit that got some TV play. But I don't know
what that is.
I have no idea.
Her biggest thing is Melrose Place, right? Because she's on Melrose Place for like a million years.
Oh boy, I just every time I try to do these kind of recalls, I'm usually wrong. So I don't want to stick my neck out too far. But I'll look it up while you guys talk.
I was fairly certain she hosted the Tonight Show from '87 to '92.
Oh,
that's the other one, dude. That's the other one. And boy, did she get raked over the coals by Johnny for hosting her own show.
she was in The Sure Thing, which was a movie that we would sneak and watch when we weren't supposed to as kids, my cousin and I. So that's 2 years before this.
Yep.
And then she would later go on to be in a movie I really, really like, Gross Anatomy, but I knew that would have been, after this, not before it.
That's a good name. That's a good title right there.
It really is a great
Gross Anatomy.
Matthew McDean, his second best movie. His two best movies, he's played a doctor in both of them.
What else?
Hold on, please. What's the other one where he plays a doctor that's his second best movie?
Oh, and The Band Played On, I think, is his best.
Oh, I see.
And I think Gross Anatomy is the second best.
I would say to you that Full Metal Jacket is that man's best movie. But,
Well, you also got to think maybe I bring a little bias into my movie watching. But in the band Played On, come on, man, we lived through that.
Now,
so it's awesome.
To also be fair, Full Metal Jacket, I'm going to say it, it's only half a good movie. Yep.
Oh, our takes bore the shit out of me these days.
I love it. Listen.
Even mine. Okay?
I'll tell you what,
it's not
though.
Exclusive to you two. It's also my takes are boring the shit out of me these days.
There was a 3-year period at our childhood, though, Shanzi, where about every 15-year-old probably felt like a Vietnam vet because, man, were they not spitting those movies out at us.
Yeah, like crazy.
They're like, oh, here's Casualties of War. Here's Platoon. Here's this. Here's that. It's like they do start to pile
China Beach
really
is on
fast.
television.
Hamburger Hill.
It's just called that's all we know.
So the thing that we hinted at last week, Adam, should I start with this now?
Please.
So when I was a kid, and Patton Oswalt has covered this area quite well, but he's dead spot on correct. And it's is that we live in an age now where you can just like whatever you like and no one cares, and it's fine. No one's paying enough attention to you to care because they're busy streaming on their TikTok stream or whatever, said the oldest man ever. Anyway, there is a time where if you liked Star Wars, you had to hide it. You could not be up front and center that you really loved Star Wars. When I was in grade school, you had to hide that shit. After like second grade, third grade, the rest of your time, you have to pretend you don't like. Oh, I think there was a movie called Star. Like you had to pretend, right? And so all of that is happening, and then Spaceballs gets released. And when you're a kid, you can't differentiate between, oh, this is all in good fun, or, oh, these people love this subject, and these people are just being mean.
Yeah.
And so at the time when Spaceballs comes out, I'm like, this is the secret thing that I really, really love. And these people are making fun of this thing that I really, really love. And so I couldn't get there for Spaceballs at the time. Also, I was a dumb kid. There's that part too. Like legitimately dumb. Like I was a dumb kid. And so being an angry, dumb kid, and then this thing that's the secret love of your life, and they're making fun of it, and you're like, screw that movie. I hate this movie. And then over time, you start hearing kids on saying lines from the movie. And then eventually you end up seeing it. This is the way it worked for me. And then you end up seeing it in VHS. And I didn't laugh at it. It kind of surprised me that it wasn't more like Hardware Wars, quite honestly, which I had already seen at this point. it was more like it was its own movie, and it just had some Star Wars in it, and so it was fine. Like I stopped hating the movie, and I watched it, and I liked it just fine. Like, it's impossible to hate Spaceballs. It's impossible to hate it, but like, it's not something that I put on Mount Rushmore for anything. And so when people say to me like, "Oh, Spaceballs, that's a classic," I'm like, "Is it though? Is it actually a classic, or is it just fine?" And you just happened to be a kid at the time when you saw it.
It's kind of cliche. It's kind of a trope for a Gen X guy to say what I'm about to say, but I still kind of need to say it because it provides some valuable context. But from an early age, like once I was able to read, like first grade on, Mad Magazine was extremely important to me. My family had some collected Mad Magazine books that you could buy that were little mass market paperbacks like you get at the grocery store checkout, and they were on bookshelves at home, and I would read those multiple times. When I was in the 5th grade, I started making my first parody superhero comics and writing my own parody stories. So 2 years later, when this comes out, I'm really, mentally primed for a nice, good parody that's about at this maturity level of all these properties. So this probably hit me at a good time, so that now when I watch it, it's the nostalgia that gives me the joy, but it's tolerable enough that I don't have to suffer for the nostalgia, like if I'm watching the G.I. Joe animated movie or the old Transformers animated movie when Optimus died.
And we all cried. Boy, Gen X really, really got scarred on that Optimus Prime dying. You guys really took that one to heart.
Oh man, it didn't bother me that much.
It's like my dad didn't love me, but Optimus Prime dying, that just
I couldn't afford an Optimus Prime, so I just laughed at the rich kids when he died.
Your toy's worthless now. He's dead.
Yeah, it's like I got my GI Joes. They're still alive. Their parachute always goes off.
I got frustrated with Transformers because I was never really good at like flipping all the the stuff around. It's like, I'm stupid. I can't get this.
They were like 5 times the price of a GI Joe, so it's pretty clear what I was going to collect.
Yeah, we were poor enough to where it was just like, you're not getting that, or if you do, it's like it's one, and that's going to be you get Starscream, and that's it.
I had one Transformer, and it was Jazz.
Oh, Jazz!
That's a good one.
I think
if you're going to have one.
We had Soundwave. That was the one that we had because it had the little tape in it and everything, and that was like the raddest thing ever.
I'm not sure how I came by it, but I had one of Soundwave's tapes, but I did not have a Soundwave.
Oh, that's weird. I did too. That's so strange.
They might have sold them as like little 3-packs that you could get really cheap.
They had
grandma. Yeah, your grandma's like, well, I'll get Sean Z a Transformer, and she buys that.
I always thought it was just
my
going to be somebody
grandmother
going,
sounded way more racist than that.
Dropped in a couple
I do declare we will get Sweet Sean's one of these white Transformers.
If you're actually able to sound like Catherine Keenan, which is literally, she was an Irish immigrant who lived in Boston half of her life. So, like, good luck. She would speak with an accent so hard I would have to turn to my dad to see what she just said.
Huh?
I was listening to a podcast earlier today that was talking about some made-for-TV movie that Pierce Brosnan was in before he was James Bond, called Detonator or something like that. But he was supposed to do an American accent, and it was so all over the place that they had to do a reshoot where he's introduced by a person saying, well, he was born in Ireland, but he grew up in England, and he spent a lot of time in Kentucky. Because apparently his accent, that's the best they could do with it.
We can't explain any of it but we're definitely going to try.
So an Irishman trying to do an American accent sounds like an Englishman who spent time in Kentucky. That's all you got to know.
It's never as good as Liam Neeson in what's that flick where he's in with Swayze?
Yeah.
I'm an American. Okay, buddy, get out of here.
Yeah.
Next to kin, is it? Is it next to kin? Is that right?
It is next to kin. And he's not just an American. He's an Appalachian, my friend. He's from Carbon Glow, Kentucky.
Lordy. Yeah, and it sounds just like it, too, I'm sure. I'm not from there, but I'm sure that's dead on.
I had the opportunity to look at Liam Neeson, but I could not avert my eyes from Patrick Swayze. But I did see one of those scenes shot from my front porch.
Oh, we got this. Hold on. Dang it. Come on. Hit it.
Fortress Bucks.
There we go. Trilly says,
Chewchilla, the Wookiee monster. That was the best special effect in Hardware Wars, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's another one that you look at and you're just like, Jim Henson going to sue somebody. Because
I loved it, though, man. I loved it.
It looks like y'all going to get sued on a lot of different fronts. I don't know that this is the wisest business decision for you, but do what you do.
It's like lawyers in their hot rod seeing who can get to the courthouse first, because there's not much money to go around on this one.
See you there, suckers. All right, let's get down to it, boys. Bruce, what is your rating and recommendations for a little movie called Spaceballs?
I'm gonna give it 3.5 pieces. Well, no, for Christ's sake, I hate doing this. This is one that if you're Gen X, it's, you know what you feel about it, but you're going to watch it anyway. So by definition, a movie you're not going to look away from, no matter what, is a 4-star movie. This is going to be 4 stars for Gen X people. Everybody else around 3.5.
All right, Sean, the other Gen X portion of the program.
I'm Gen X, and I don't love this movie. For me, out of 5 out of 5 Winnebagos, I'm going to give this 2.5 Winnebagos. Like it's a great relic from a time from the halcyon days of yore, and for that reason alone, it's 2.5. But if this thing came out today, good God Almighty, the people would set fire to the movie theaters. What are we doing? It's fine. It's fine. But I think that the performances lend a lot to this movie. I think that if you have anyone else besides Rick Moranis playing Dark Helmet,
oh man,
your movie's over, man. Like you don't have it. And same with like that's the part that's kind of interesting about Spaceballs too, is you don't have John Candy in this. Like, good luck.
Yeah, no John Candy. My guess is Moranis is not coming back. It's like, what are we doing at this point?
And just to explain to the audience, I think Sean is a little too close to the material because his twin brother also got trapped in a limo and ate himself. So I can see why he would only give this 2.5.
What?
I'm lost as well. So,
isn't that how Jabba the Hutt died? He got trapped in a limo and ate himself.
Oh, Pizza the Hut, you mean?
Oh,
Pizza the Hut.
I'm sorry.
Swing and a miss.
Edit that out.
Bruce's joke, 2 stars. Yeah, okay, yeah, I will.
You know he doesn't edit.
You know how I edit? I will go ahead and I'll just plop that boy right out of there. The folks won't even know. Unfortunately, we have the live stream, but I don't know what we can do.
That's probably going on TikTok. Are you kidding?
The saddest thing about me is if I ever discovered time travel, I would solely use it to go back in time and not say things.
He's just off in the corner going, no. For me, like I said previously, I'm an old man and I like old man comedy, and Mel Brooks does some of the best old man comedy out there.
He's the only one doing it these days.
These days, for sure. Yeah, to me, this is a great, just a 4-star, right across. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite Mel Brooks films, but like you said, Sean, surprisingly watchable. You can just sit down and it's such a breeze. They're not taking it too seriously. They're not doing every single beat of Star Wars. They're just having fun with it, and it seems like everyone is genuinely having a good time, and that says a lot.
That is one of the things I want to say about the plot of this movie, is that it does work on its own bullshit. Like it's not leaning on Star Wars so much that you're like, man, like, did you literally just go beat for beat and make your parody movie? It's not that, and for that, it's commendable that he did make his own movie. I mean, it's not great, but it's not just Star Wars. He did good.
Yeah. Oh, one more.
Fortress
2.5
Bucks.
Winnebago's good.
Matt comes in with another one. My favorite joke in the movie is this: preparing ship for metamorphosis, sir. Good. You get on with it. Ready, Kafka. It's good stuff.
That was like a deep reference. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things in there that's just like, there's a couple here and there that you're just like, oh, that's a little deeper, a little sharper than you might suspect for, a couple of
Believe it or
comparatively
not,
the other jokes.
In 1987, adults still read books occasionally.
Huh.
What's that like? Gross? No, thanks. I listen to mine the way the good Lord intended them in audio format. So you don't got to do any of that pesky reading shit.
I listen to the audiobooks of Cliff Notes.
That does sound like an Adam move right there. It's like, can I get the audio version of the Cliff Notes? That definitely would have been me in high school for sure. Because I did do Cliff Notes because I was just like, I'm not reading Jane Eyre. This is not happening. $3 for a Cliff Notes and you figured it out. Congratulations. You figure I'd watch a movie, but I was like, no, the book's probably different than the movie. So I was like, spend that $3 for the Cliff Notes there and pass that test. And boy, oh boy, did I ever. Well, we hope that you have studied well because next week we are wrapping up our quiz on John Candy with the great Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because it's Thanksgiving, everybody, and that kind of outside of John Candy himself is really the reason that we're doing this. Throw that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles in there, and we figured, hey, let's talk about John Candy and everything like that. So that's what we're going to be doing next week, which makes me...
I've never seen the last 15 minutes of that movie. Everybody just ends up where they're supposed to be at the end, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everybody goes home in a Cadillac, as they say.
And the two never speak again.
So we'll be talking all about that next week here with our good buddies John Candy and Steve Martin. Those guys aren't funny, are they? Oh, they are. They're hilarious, and we'll be talking all about that. In the meantime, Bruce, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
If you go hang out around YouTube here in a few days, you'll see that we're going to try to do a week of Thanksgiving movies to follow up that wonderful 13 days of Halloween that my wife and I did. So it's youtube.com/animedad or @animedad or Scarin' Karen. There's a million ways to find. Actually, that's hyperbole. There's 4 ways to find it. So please use one of those.
You can click the note in the show notes there, and it just takes you right on over to Bruce's page there and everything. Now, Bruce, are you guys going? Because she talked about it, and I'm hoping that she really just kind of grabs you by the neck and makes you do it. Do all the Christmas movies next month. You do a whole bunch of Christmas movies with her and stuff because I want to see those because I feel like she would be dragging you along with that, and I think that's funny.
We will do as many as we can. She seems to think we're going to do one every day of the month.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
We will do some. We will do some.
That is a lot of editing. Wow.
Guess who edits?
Yes, that's why.
That's why I say
you poor bastard.
I'm really pushing for the 12 days of Christmas, but we'll see what happens.
12 is a lot more doable than a good old fashioned.
Because we did
25.
13 for Halloween.
It's a little and you guys did big ass episodes. They weren't like little 10-minute little swaths. You guys almost all of them are damn near an hour.
Yeah.
So
they don't have to be.
But check them out, everybody. That'll be in the show notes. Shawnee, what else?
I got a question for you. Since it's no longer Halloween, is her name still going to be Scarin' Karen?
I think it's going to be either Thanks Karen or Karen's Giving, but I don't know.
Thanks, Karen seems a little bit mean and nice at the same time. It's like, thanks, Karen. Yeah.
Oh, she hates her name.
Everybody says,
of course.
Well,
Every
listen,
Karen in the world hates their name now.
My aunt's name is Karen.
It works great for clickbait purposes.
Get the Karens in there. They love it.
Angry Karen yells at white man about movie.
And check out TikTok Trash Tuesday, everybody, on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube and everything. I do TikTok Trash Tuesday where I go to TikTok and pull out movie TikToks and then yap about it for some time and take some notes from you guys in the chat there as well. So go check all that out. Links are in the show notes for everything. That is it, everybody. Join us next week when we're talking planes, trains, and automobiles for Sweet Shanta Kovacs from the United Bruce Leslie. I'm Adam Porteous reminding you to get out there and watch some movies, you dirty babies. Why this thing isn't hitting, I don't know.